The Bird and the Bat.
Well, and that's that was Scott Snyder's first story arc when he took over Batman in the New 52 was the Court of Owls.
Yeah, so it's referencing
it's
his arcs. Yeah, it's everything. And man, DC is just hitting me right where I live. I don't think there's anything. Like I said, I just now finished Inhumans versus X-Men for Marvel this week, and it's Lemire. I love Lemire's stuff, but I was so totally disappointed in that because what it boiled down to was, we built this Terrigen Eater. Medusa, here's the Terrigen Eater, so they can't use it. And then she just all of a sudden realizes, oh, the Terrigen kills mutants? I didn't realize that. Boom, let's kill the Terrigen cloud.
Yeah.
So there was like no need for any of it. Somebody could have just told Medusa that it was killing them, and then she would have ended the cloud then. So there was all this destruction and battle for absolutely no reason. And then Medusa basically kills the future for the Inhumans, so her and Black Bolt go off and have drinks. I was like, are you kidding me? This is where this ends?
Well, then you get into the Royals story, which I haven't been getting the last couple of issues, but the Inhumans actually go into space. So, but what I loved at the end of Metal was when the Dark Knights, the Dark Batman.
Yeah, that I've seen some artwork of that before this.
Yeah, me too.
But it was cool to see it it's cool to see it in the book and actually see it all fully colored.
I mean, you have so basically it's a Batman person of every member of the Justice League. So there's an Aquaman, which is female. You have
they kind of look like the ring wraiths almost. They're kind of armor. They're wearing armor, but it's kind of themed to each member of the Justice League.
You have the Aquaman. I guess the Doomsday Batman is supposed to be about like Superman's alternate. You have a cyborg one. You have, of course, the true Batman one, which I think is the Joker Batman that walks through with the two, zombified, evil, demonic Damian Robin that he has on chains. You have a big armored one, which is probably your Wonder Woman one because the symbol's right there. You have a Flash, and you have a Green Lantern, and they do something to frickin' Superman and Wonder Woman. And then it says next, Rise of the Dark Knights. If you're not reading Metal, this is one of Scott. I'm telling you, Scott Snyder. He's a friend of the show. Okay, and it's not just because he's a friend of the show, but his stuff on this has been fantastic. It's just
and Capullo artwork cannot be beat. You're getting quality. You're getting a quality book. Number one, you're getting quality writing. Like this is what we talked about a little bit last week, I think. But it's like for me, when a book hits all bases when you got a quality writer and a quality artist on it. And you don't get much more quality than Snyder and Capullo on something. So yeah, that's a recommended read.
That's a definitely recommended read. Chief, you said you read one more, or?
I read a couple. I read Action this week, which Action it's still this thing with Mr. Oz that's been going through Superman. It's like he's been having Superman's had his regular story arcs. And him and Lois and John McKinney went on vacation, on a tour of Washington or something recently. But you've had this guy, Mr. Oz, that's kind of been involved, behind the scenes throughout, all this going on. But he finally reveals himself because he believes that the world doesn't deserve Superman and his family. He thinks that the world is just full of vile, evil people, and if given the opportunity, they'll kill each other and take what they want. And he believes there's no redeeming quality to humanity. So all these disasters all kind of pop off at once in the world, and Superman flies around and he solves all these problems all over the world. He fixes all these disasters. Well, this Mr. Oz guy puts his influence on all these places, and disasters like he brings medicine to these sick people in this African country, and because in the beginning the medicine truck crashes and Superman takes the medicine himself personally and flies it all the way to Africa. So then he leaves there and he fixes a couple other problems. Well, it comes to find out because he brought this medicine to this village, these warlords that have got some kind of civil war going on there see that they can get money for the medicine, so they immediately come in and kill all the patients that take the medicine. And then there's these poachers kill one of the last black rhinos in the world or something, and then it's all this stuff happens, and then it just all gets fucked up immediately after Superman deals with it. So and Superman can't figure out why, and then right then and there, this Mr. Oz guy appears, And it's revealed, I don't know if it's going to be, if this is the truth or if this is just somebody pretending, but it's revealed that it's Jor-El that survived the destruction of Krypton. And he's come back to observe Earth and see if he did the right thing by sending Kal-El there. And he's determined that the Earth doesn't deserve him and that he shouldn't have sent him there. He should have sent him somewhere else. More worthy. So that's where it ends. We find out that Mr. Oz is Jor-El, and but nothing else happened. They got to wait till next month.
Okay.
So that was pretty good. I was curious about what's been going on with this Mr. Oz guy because he's been kind of in the background of all the books, but as the arcs have continued on their own, and he's just been kind of observing. That one was pretty good. The other one I read was Flash number 30, and it's Flash still trying to deal with being having the negative speed for he's the negative Flash now. Because Eobard Thawne took him to like a negative Speed Force universe and took his Speed Force and left him with this negative Speed Force energy. Originally, in this issue, we find out that the Speed Force isn't what was draining him. There's a new villain that arises in this called Bloodwork. That now has the ability to affect people's. He was a hemophiliac who worked in the morgue for the police. He's a medical examiner, but he was stealing metahuman blood from the evidence lab and doing experiments trying to cure his hemophilia. And somehow or another, he got the combination to where now he's indestructible. Like he can't be cut by anything, and now he's indestructible. And he can also control the blood inside of his own body and inside of other people's bodies.
Damn.
So basically, he can defeat Flash by congealing all of his blood inside of his body. And make it faster. But we find out it was this guy was manipulating Barry Allen's blood in the crime lab, and that was what was draining his power so badly. It wasn't the negative Speed Force. So, and he actually figures out that with this negative Speed Force, he can create concussive blasts, like huge explosions when he uses this. So a whole new list of powers for the Flash right now going on. And it's getting pretty good. I love the Flash. You know, I'm a big Barry. I led the charge of the Respect Barry Allen years ago.
You did.
And as much as I don't like the WB Barry or CW Barry Allen, I should say, I do still love Flash in the comics, and I think I'm really gonna like the Flash in the Justice League movie.
I think so too. I did.
But huge Barry Allen fan, and the Flash is really good right now for anybody. I'd recommend it. Flash fans. Recommend just you read this arc. The negative Flash thing's been pretty cool.
I read the newest issue of Red Hood and the Outlaws. I believe it's number 14.
I want to read that, but I didn't get a chance to review it yet. So.
It's part of the Bizarro Reborn. So basically, what happened is Bizarro died. He was always on a short time span with life because he's a clone. Well, when he dies, Lex Luthor shows up, remakes him, and now he's his IQ has gone through the roof. So we have very
I saw that Bizarro's a genius now. I saw a little preview.
Bizarro's a genius, and I mean he's to that point genius-wise where basically it's a Civil War II in a way. He built a machine that can basically pinpoint when a crime is going to happen. Which allows them to stop Victor Zsasz from escaping from Arkham. And Artemis is kind of, she's wary about it. Red Hood loves it. He thinks it's great. I mean, Bizarro builds...
Oh, Red Hood doesn't have the moral compass of Batman.
No.
He doesn't give a shit.
Bizarro actually builds a gigantic, helicarrier for the Outlaws, which is invisible to everybody in Gotham. And they ask him, they said... when did you have time to build this? He goes, this morning when you guys were out.
Is he still doing the backwards talk, or is he just talking regular English?
No, he's talking normal. Well, the end of the book, he sits down at his console, and there's him and his reflection, looks at him and goes, and he's talking like a Bizarro goes, it will this not last long. And Smart Bizarro goes, yes, I know. So basically, I don't know if it means his life's not going to last long, or
what happened again? How did he get intelligent? Did something Lex Luthor give him intelligence?
Yeah, it was Luthor, because Luthor showed up when Bizarro died and basically said, "Look, I created him, I can bring him back."
Yeah, okay. So he took some of Luthor's intellect temporarily or something.
Yeah. So that's I like Red Hood. I've always liked the Red Hood stories. So
I haven't read it in a while. I used to really like it. I used to read it back in the Scott Snyder Batman days when it would cross over with that, when there were tie-ins or whatever. But
like I said, I like this one because I do like the Dark Trinity aspect of it.
I liked him with Starfire and Arsenal, and that was when I was reading it. Now it's a totally different team.
Yeah, it's still really good. I still really enjoy it. So that's this week's DC recap.
Thank you very much, DC. We appreciate it. And, man, I love this. I'm loving this, man. I'll review anything you want. Send me everything, DC. I'll review it.
Darn right. Everything that you want.
I love it. I'm just happy as a man can be that likes comic books.
Yes. Thank you so much for everything. And, of course, like we say, every single week we're going to be bringing you that. At the end of every episode, the episodes, yes, they've been a little bit longer lately because we have been doing these recaps because DC has entrusted us with this job, and we are doing it to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, but you know what? As far as I'm concerned, they got the best thing out right now, best product out on the market. Rebirth right now is the best comics going, I think.
Yep. So that'll do it for us this week. Remember, if you're checking us out here on Wednesday, if you're listening to us Wednesday, you've got Djibouti tonight, so make sure you go check out some Djibouti on Twitch.
Yep. And all the streamers, usually they're all on there at some form or another.
Like I said, big shout-outs to Officer Jay Taylor and Danny Purry. Big shout-outs to both of y'all. Thank you for listening, by the way, both of you. Welcome, as Classy would say, welcome to the lounge. Have a seat. But as we say, pull up a chair, sit down, grab yourself something from the fridge, but don't touch my bratwurst. Don't touch my schnitzel. Don't touch my schnitzel.
My name was in there.
I knew your name on it. And voila! That was a karate chop. With karate, I'll kick your ass from here to Tiananmen Square.
Tenacious D, by the way.
How many?
The Pick of Destiny is an underrated musical of a movie. It's great.
How many cock push-ups can you do?
You only need to do one. I can do one. One's all you need.
One's all you need. You just need one. So, Crystal will now tell you where you can find us every week.
Every Wednesday on Podbean, Stitcher, Player FM, Google Play, iTunes, and every Thursday on GamingRebellion.com and Filling the Void Podcast Network.
And, of course, we are on Twitter, so you can follow Chief at SpaceChief75. Of course, you can follow me at the Nerd Rage Renegades Twitter official. And, of course, Facebook.com/NRR Truth Radio. That is where our Facebook is. Yes, we are there. And so much stuff coming up. Like we said, Renegade Masterpiece Theater coming at you with Adam Lash and fans.
I can't wait. I'm gonna get some good ones, man. They're gonna be Halloween themed because we're getting into that season.
And then Horror Fest after that is coming, and we got some guests starting to line up. Of course, I've already mentioned that Felissa Rose will be back on with us in October for Horror Fest.
Can't wait.
And
that's
of
always
course,
fun.
I've got some emails out, and we may have a three-timer coming back. You know him, you love him. I'm working with James Rolfe. If his schedule allows it, James will be back to talk some movies in October. So, until next time, as we always say here on the Nerd Rage Renegades podcast, fuck you, Craig.
You weak.
You weak.
Good night, everybody.
Na, 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 na. Sing it with me, Chief. Na, 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 na. Hey, dude. Good night.
I like how Captain Pete did it.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Nerd Rage Renegades.